9555 Jacksonville.
Man, y'all know what time it is. T-Law got the eyes of Lee Van Cleef when he go in that field.
Checks it down underneath. That's a crossing route to Christian Kirk. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Christian Kirk to the goal line. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
They made a major mistake when they made T-Law go to the spirit of the sky, to the oracle of the saber-toothed tiger, and the saber-toothed tiger now has the scepter in his hand, and he been to put every critic to rest. Man, last night I done marinated 2 turkeys. I got my cherry wood getting ready for my smoker. Just got off from work, off picture roll. I'm gonna bake me 2 Cornish hens. My special recipe, I call it the Mediterranean Cornish hen. I'm gonna top it off with my homemade Long Island iced tea. And I'm only gonna top it off with 1 red top of Coca-Cola. The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever. Duval!
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. It is a Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Jags will be on the field in just a couple of days in the Big Easy. They'll be on the practice field coming up here in about an hour or so as practice will extend beyond the end of Jaguars Today. So if you want the latest from Liam Cohen, stay tuned to 1010XL throughout the course of the day. Tony Smith, it's week 2 of the preseason. Where's the arrow pointing for you with the Jacksonville Jaguars right now?
Not hard up, I wouldn't say. It's more sideways for me, kind of the way I feel about them right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to compare it to where I felt like they were going through the offseason, right? And wherever I felt like that kind of, like a bunch of the big questions we had going into the offseason, we don't know how well those questions have been answered to this point. I mean, they just got Mason Smith back on the field.
Sure.
Yesterday. So a lot of these areas that were big areas of concern for the football team, I don't know that you can know how well they've answered those questions. So for me, it's very sideways. And Tommy, as you saw yesterday out at training camp practice again while they're doing the scrimmage, the penalties are an issue right now for this football team. That's just sloppy. And so much of it is before the plays even get started. Like, I can understand it. If you have a hold during a play, it happens. It's like, well, he was playing football, it happens. That kind of thing. But all the pre-snap stuff, that is probably the biggest thing I'm watching for this weekend, is that kind of nonsense to be done, because they're going to kill any opportunities they're going to have to win if that's going to be part of what they're going to be.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It was penalties, drops, missed throws too. The defense would make a play, but there was a penalty. Offense would make a play. There was throwing a Parker down the field. It was great, but there was a penalty, and you're like, gosh, can we go through a play without a penalty? It just seemed like there was too many of them. Again, too many drops. For me, the error, I'm with Tony, but I think it's going to go up. The defense has got to be better. The first-team defense looked a lot like last year's first-team defense. It's early. There's no time to panic. It's not time to panic or anything like that. But you want to see improvement in that. Now, New Orleans isn't the barometer, but still, let's go out there and play well together, make some plays, efficient, not many penalties, if any at all. Go out there and play the game right, because I tell you what, you look at now granted he's hurt. You look at Tyson Campbell. He was great all camp. He was not great the other night.
No.
Bad in run support. He missed a wide open tackle. Bad in coverage. Just not good. And you're thinking man, he's one of our better guys going in. And now you don't know what to think. But at the end of the day, it's got to go up, the arrow, right? Come on, man. I think the offense was okay. I want to see more run. We only had 2 runs other than the Jets sweep, on that third down or whatever down that wall. Yeah, it was third down. But I want to see the running game more. But the offense was fine for me, but the defense looked like last year, so that's why.
Well, they only had 15 called running plays last Saturday at all.
Yeah.
Right? They had 17 attempts, but 1 each from each of the quarterbacks. Yeah. Right? So they only had 15 called runs in the game last week, which was a bit of a surprise to me. given how much they talked about it through the offseason. But it's not that's not a button to hit. No. It's just like they're going to try to do that a little bit more, I would expect, on Sunday against the Saints. It's just for whatever reason it didn't fit in the game. I do think, and we've talked about this throughout the week, Tommy, I think Liam Cohen as a play caller gives them a real chance. Like play to play, moment to moment, the way he calls a game gives them a chance because he does seem to make everything comfortable for them with whatever they're doing on offense. So I think that's going to be a big key to what's going to happen this season. That doesn't take any of the, what happened with the defense.
No, right.
Play.
Listen, I'll tell you what, I like what Liam did this week with doing this assignments and, alignments practice, which was basically a walkthrough, but it was a long walkthrough, 40 plays. And no player wants to go through it, but it was too many mistakes. And he's like, all right, you know what? We're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to lay it all out for you. And I think I felt like yesterday was more of not a scrimmage, but more of a faster paced alignments and assignments, just making sure we know exactly where we're supposed to be and how we're going to be.
Didn't.
It wasn't very good overall. It wasn't very good overall.
Look, we're 3 weeks out, and we can't get lined up and not have pre-snap penalties and things like that, and the drops seem like an epidemic right now.
Yeah, the drops haven't. Not all the players, but the ones you're hoping don't drop them seem to be dropping them.
How did Trevor Lawrence look to you yesterday? Because I've seen both, hey, he was this at a good completion percentage and had some drops, so okay, he's throwing the ball on target. And, some of he would have been sacked. Some could be on him, but some of that's like they want the play to extend and let it play out and see what would happen. Yeah. So what was your impression just specifically of how he did at the practice?
Yeah, he was fine. He missed I think 2 or 3 and he immediately was like, you could tell he knew he missed, and it might have been just miscommunication with the target. I know one was to Etienne. Another one was to Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas dropped one, hit him right in the hands, but that was early. But I think he's been looking. He's efficient. He did throw a pick to Wingard, right? But it was was the play over? I don't know if the play was over, because there was a penalty. Did this really happen? But he overthrew Parker down the middle, and Wingard made the pick, but they blew the whistle. So I don't know if that would have really happened in the game. You know what I mean?
And was it a penalty on the offense that?
I can't remember.
Because sometimes you think you get the free play, obviously, and you take a shot.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, it wasn't a shot. It wasn't that deep, but it was just a little overthrown in the middle. But then he hit Parker down the middle later, and it was perfect. And they called that one back, too, and that, I believe, was on the offense.
That's a problem. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, all right. Well, today we're going to get into a variety of Jaguar themed discussions. Obviously, we'll hear from Trevor Lawrence, who spoke after practice yesterday. Liam Cohen, you're going to have to wait till later on this afternoon to hear what the head coach thinks heading into week 2 of the preseason. Today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. What are the top 3 storylines you'll be watching when the Jags take on the Saints on Sunday? We'll get into that. You can hop on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010. Same number for the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Stream us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Meathead55, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Game day, coach.
Middleburg coming to B-Town.
Middleburg coming for a B-Town beating or what?
Mike, I coach. I don't play.
Gotcha.
I think the special teams will be good tonight, hopefully. If not, some people are getting fired.
You're not going to play this game in the media, are you? You're not going to have
hopefully I'll be up top.
But would one of those people who get fired be you?
No, I'm talking about my players.
Oh, okay.
Preseason.
All right, they are probably making more than you. I don't doubt that for a second. With high school NIL going
no comments.
Right. All right. You know the ways to be on board today. We'll hear from Trevor Lawrence coming up. Let's talk about what we're hoping to see or maybe not see as much as anything coming up this weekend against the New Orleans Saints. This is Jaguars Today, kicking off this Friday on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. You want to know more about your favorite football team.
That's right.
And John Osher delivers because O knows. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on 1010XL.
Call 904-500-COOL. Ideal conditions. We're a veteran and still 100% locally owned and operated HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, and general contracting company. Ideal Conditions has been BBB accredited with an A+ rating since 2008 with 4.9 out of 5 stars from over 1,000 reviews on Google.
Call 904-500-COLD.
Honk if you see us. Call for service.
Ideal Conditions.
IdealConditionsJax.com.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
After an accident, you may have an x-ray that looks normal, but you're still in pain. That's because soft tissue injuries like sprains and tears don't show up on x-rays. And if an insurance company doesn't see it, they may not believe you're hurt.
When they don't take your pain seriously, we fight back. We know doctors who are experts in diagnosing soft tissue injuries. They can help us prove that your pain is real, and we'll seek to get you paid for all of your future medical expenses.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, the wings are fresh, the drinks are cold, and the game is always on. With 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, and handcrafted cocktails, there's no better place to kick back and catch every play. Escape the ordinary. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings.
How many Major League Baseball players have played exclusively for the Yankees and the Mets?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Just 6 Major League players have played exclusively for the Yankees and the Mets, including the famous Yankee catcher Yogi Berra.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. In the middle, Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service on 1010XL.
All right, Tommy Mack here with us on this Friday, heading into the weekend. You'll be in Vegas next week.
Yeah, next week with Helmets and Heels.
What about with Jaguars Today?
I'm going to have to call in, I guess, on Friday.
You guess.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
Damn right I am.
At 7 a.m.
That's right. I don't mind. I get up, whether I'm on Vegas time or any time.
All right. Or maybe you just won't have gone to bed yet.
Nah, I don't know about that. I think those days are over.
Are they?
I think so.
I was thinking the same thing, man.
I would need some heavy drugs for that, and I'm not into those things.
Every year they do a fantasy football expo up in Canton, Ohio. They just did it last week, and it always coincides with Jags preseason, so I never even think about going, you know. And they're moving it up a couple of weeks next year into July, and I'm like, yeah, I'm probably still not going. Like, 46-year-old me, all about it. Let's go and burn the midnight oil.
I start early. You know, and then I like ending early.
Right.
It's nice. I get up early.
We got to be in bed by 9, okay? That'll be it for us. So
that's funny.
Don't know if you'll be seeing me end up there. All right, Dylan, why don't we get it in early, start off with today's 10-10 take.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
All right, I think based on what Tony said a moment ago, I think we agree. Mental errors, that's the number one storyline. You got to clean up the process, right? Because if you keep shooting yourself in the foot, no matter, how accurate Trevor Lawrence is or what capabilities you have with the skill position or, the line didn't give up a sack last week. Did it look like you had a dominating performance? So that aside, the storyline that I'm most looking forward to watching play out in this game, or most interested in seeing how it plays out in this game, is the battle at left tackle right now, right? Because, as Tony was saying yesterday here, Tony Baselli remarking that this is kind of the plan. We want to rotate guys, get different looks.
Yeah.
And I get that, Tom, but I feel like if that's the plan, you start out training camp kind of like that. Like, hey, let's see, you're going to get the first team, but then maybe the third day we're going to switch this guy in here. What they've done is basically let Walker Little take most of the work.
Oh, yeah.
And then just recently, they've been on first team situations, switching Anton Harrison in there, switching Fred Johnson in there, getting some different looks. Yep. And you can talk about, we want to determine who our swing tackle is. I feel like they're determining who their left tackle is right now. And while I would still, forced to bet, I would say Walker Little's the opening day left tackle, but I don't know how much more confident I feel in that statement than I do that Anton Harrison's going to end up on the left side and one of McCary or Johnson or Adoga is going to end up playing right tackle for this team.
The thing with Anton, though, I mean, you saw him in the scrimmage, but I don't think we've seen him at left tackle since. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. You'd think they would have been trying him over there. Yesterday.
Well, he went out early.
Well, he got dinged.
Too.
Yeah, but even before yesterday's practice, throughout, I can't, like during the game, I don't think he played left. I know during practice he hasn't played much left. So you'd think they try him at left if that's the case, but maybe they're waiting. They feel confident he can play. I don't know what the deal is there. Obviously, he got dinged up. But aside from center and left guard, it was musical chairs yesterday. I mean, you had everybody trying all the. I mean, McCary played every position, right? You had Fred Johnson at left tackle. You had Fred Johnson at right tackle. You had Adoga. Now, Adoga doesn't get any time at left tackle, which I'd like to see him at left tackle.
Which was interesting because when camp opened, he was going to be competing
for a tackle.
Left tackle at left specifically. Right. And then they're like, well, let's see how he looks at right guard. And it was kind of eye-opening how good he looked.
He is. Well, he's a powerful guy. He's a big, powerful guy that can move. So, but I think he can play left. Look, here's crazy. Like, if Cole Van Lonen's not hurt, now he's hurt. But if he went there, would he be given a run for the money at left tackle? He did great at right tackle, in my opinion, last year. And then you could easily move Anton over and feel pretty good about your offensive line.
I don't know the exact timetable.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got shoulder, so you never know that. You got to have that punch, and if it's dinged up and sore, it's going to be tough to do. But I agree. Come on. If the plan, I don't know. You don't do it 3 weeks in. You just don't.
It doesn't make sense, right? Like that's when you should be solidifying and identifying. Okay. Right. We've had the competition. We've seen it play out. This guy is standing out. Let's give him the majority of the reps. You got to build towards the cohesive unit, Tony, that we always hear about. These guys got to work in sync. And 3 weeks out, we're not quite sure what that combination is going to be.
No, it clearly seems to speak more to we have a lot of very open questions on who's going to play where. right, on the offensive line. Is
3
what
out of
it's
the 5,
saying,
yes.
right? Like at this point in time. And I think, Tommy, it's even hard to say, we talk all the time about 5 best, put the 5 best on the field, figure out how to get the 5 best on the field. Who are the 5 best for this football team right now? Who would that even be?
I would go. You want me to answer that?
Sure.
Okay. I would go Anton.
Sure.
I would go Haynes. He's going to be the center. Whether he's the best, he's going to be the center. So I'll throw him in there. Ezra for sure. Ezra's been a beast. McCary is number 4, and then I'd say Adoga.
But in what combination?
Well, in my mind, you could play Adoga at left, although he hasn't seen it yet. McCary could play guard or tackle. Anton could play left.
But if Adoga's playing left tackle, McCary's your right guard in that scenario.
And a right guard,
right?
correct.
So, I mean, does Anton not have the most upside of any potential left tackle on the team?
I think he does, especially because he played it in college, right? And he's probably comfortable over there. But I haven't seen him over there. You'd think they'd have moved him over. Like after the scrimmage, I'd be like, okay, he can play left tackle. Let's play him at left tackle during the week. But you haven't seen any of that. So I don't know if that's a strategy. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe they're waiting, to find out if anybody else can take it over. And if not, he's my default. It just seems kind of crazy, but I'm just trying to figure it out. But you haven't seen him at left tackle much.
You didn't mention Wyatt Milam, who by all reports has had a pretty good camp, to this point, and was really good. They moved him all over the place in the preseason game, and he was great wherever they put him. Yeah. Right? And it does feel like part of that I could see would be, well, Cleveland's kind of locked in as the left guard.
Sure.
It's the way that it feels right now. So there are these weird kind of questions. It's why everything's getting moved around right now, because who is the right tackle if we do need to do something with that? Yeah. What the guard on the other side of Cleveland is wide open right now. How close to being among just their 5 best? Maybe not the guys that are going to wind up being the starters, but just their 5 best right now is Wyatt Milam.
I think he can play tackle because we watch him play tackle. I think he can play tackle. I like his demeanor.
Which tackle spot in the pros, though, do you think?
I think he can play left. I think he's athletic enough to play left for sure. I think he's got the temperament.
I feel like he's like in the mold more of a right tackle, that typical guy you think is going to get your hands on you and finish you.
He we just haven't seen that out of our left tackle. They're supposed to do that too. But I know what you mean. Right tackles are maulers typically. Like they can maul you, move you around, that type of thing. It just depends who plays left in that scenario. I wouldn't have him top 5 in my 5, but I'd have him right there, and I would give him a shot at left tackle, like with the ones. I'd say, all right, listen, we've seen pretty much everybody else. If we're not going to go Anton, which we would think he would be the next one in line, then let's see what maybe Adoga can do out there. Let's see what Wyatt Milam can do out there.
Let's hear from Grant Udinski, Jaguars offensive coordinator, then Trevor Lawrence, about these different combinations they're working on the offensive line. Udinski, the first thing asked after practice yesterday is, obviously you want to get to 5 offensive linemen solidified probably sooner than later, right?
Absolutely, I think so, but I think at the same time you recognize that over the course of the year, it's very rare nowadays for the 5 same starters to play every single play for an entire season. So this work to get guys working with each other that might not always work together on week 1 or week 2 is invaluable to have right now.
That was part of the conversation they were talking about on the coaches show yesterday too, right? When it was Baselli and the GM in the room having the conversation about, and this question came up, they were like, well, the experience that he had at the Rams, it was, you had to have guys ready to play together. It's like, I can understand that, but that doesn't feel exactly like what this is.
I can too, because Grant Udinski's asking about getting the starting 5 solidified. He goes, yeah, you do want to get, he's kind of acknowledging the answer. We're not there yet. We don't know who those 5 are.
Yeah. Right.
So it'd be one thing if you had your 5, you're set, hey, now, something happens.
See what it looks like.
Right. What if we lose our right guard? Let's shuffle in some different combos.
Right.
I would get that. I don't feel like that's where we're at.
Well, first of all, how much chemistry you get in 3 plays with one lineup and then you switch the lineup again? Let me just throw this at you. So I wrote it down. 4th time out, the first teamers went out. Walker Little was the left tackle. Wyatt Milam was at right tackle. The 5th time they went out, Fred was at right tackle, Walker at left tackle, and Wyatt at right guard. And then the last time they came out, McCary was at right guard. I don't know who the tackles were, but anyway, so they're moving them around, different spots. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, to get chemistry, you got to get your 5 and get them out there. Yeah, guys are going to get dinged up. You're going to have backups come in, but you can't be. You're not thinking that, are you? You know what I mean? Like, is that your strategy going in? Hey, you never know what could happen. Let's get them all work until the final,
Right. We're not going to play Nick Mullins extensively with the first team in case Trevor gets hurt, right? I mean, you're going to hope it doesn't happen, and then you're going to adjust if necessary. As a follow-up to that, how much of the O-line work is still a work in progress?
I don't know that I would frame it necessarily as piecemealing. I think one of the questions you guys asked last week was about the flexibility of the offensive line. I'd probably still look at it like that. We have had some injuries, guys go in and out, even temporary injuries where guys miss a drive, and those have been opportunities for other guys to step up and play different positions. So you probably see out there today, we have multiple guys play on different sides, play guard, play tackle, inside, outside, different centers. So it's great that those guys have the ability to do that, and we have the chance to get that type of work.
By the way, not that it matters, it's just one man's opinion. Mike Clay over at ESPN did a ranking of all the position groups for every team, like 1 through 32, all the main position groups. Where do you think the Jags come in on offensive line?
I think I saw it, so I'd be cheating, but was it 22?
32.
Oh, 32.
That'd be 32.
Oh, then I saw a different one where they were 22.
Yeah, or maybe you were looking at a different position because they were ranked in that 22 range on a number of things. What position group do you think they were the highest on? Or do you remember?
Running back. I'm guessing.
Not even off-ball linebacker. Third in the league.
Really?
Like,
what?
The league loves Devin Lloyd.
PFF numbers on Devin Lloyd are like through the roof, right? And look, I'm happy Foye is getting the credit that he's due, but third best group in the league. Surprising.
Hey, man, we'll take it.
One from Trevor Lawrence on the lack of continuity that they've had with this offensive line.
Continuity is important, but the way this game is, guys get hurt and injured, and you got to O-line is a group where I don't know what the stats are, but typically you don't have the same 5 guys every single game for the whole season. So there's value in getting other people in there and playing and building that chemistry with more than just 5 guys, because the reality is something could happen and you might not have one of those guys, 2 of those guys. Who knows? I mean, it just depends on the type of year you have. But and hopefully, probably all our guys are healthy all year. But I think we have a good feel for the 5 up front and who it's going to be, and those guys are working well together. But we have a lot of guys that can play, which is encouraging. But we just got to get a little bit more on the same page when guys come in at these different positions. And like we talked about before, it's not always the most comfortable thing for those guys to bounce around, but it's valuable for us. So I think they've done a good job of doing it and doing it pretty well for the most part. We just got to clean up some of the simple stuff that we can fix.
Well, they do need to clean up some stuff. There's no doubt about it. Look, I would think, for me, a lot of those interior guys, I don't worry about the interior as much as I do the tackle position. Right?
I agree.
I feel like they're interchangeable. Like, if you told me Milam is one of your best 2 guards, I'll believe you.
Right.
If you tell me McCary, if you tell me Adoga, I'm not going to be like, oh, my gosh, why is McCary not playing over Adoga? And Ezra Cleveland's had a good camp. And like you said, whether Hainsey's the best or not, he's the best option they probably have, or the one they're most comfortable with.
Right.
But even there, they've got other people that can play.
I think most successful offenses typically have the same, at least 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen throughout the year, wouldn't you say? I mean, there are injuries.
What happened to, guy goes down, and we just decided to shuffle the right guard out to right tackle, and we threw this slappy in there, and look at all line is not missing a beat, right? I mean, do you think they practiced every one of these combinations, and like, when it happens 3 months later, do you have that muscle memory from those 3 reps you got?
I remember playing next to you. We had 2 reps back in the 4th week of camp.
They are way better at organizing a training camp and preparing a team than I will ever be. I understand that, but we still look at it, and I look at it and worry 3 weeks out that there's a lot of shuffling going on up front right now. Got to take a break. We'll come back. More storylines to watch for with the Jags and Saints coming up this weekend, including Tom McManus's observations from the week at camp. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big number 1, Duval Ford. They're right there on Cassett Avenue. You knew that. You've probably driven by Duval Ford plenty of times because they've been in Jacksonville, get this, for over 110 years. Used to wholesale cars from Henry Ford directly. That's how long Duval Ford's been a legacy company in Jacksonville, and part of it is their fantastic service department. Ford factory-trained and certified technicians. They can take care of any kind of vehicle with over 90 service bays to get you in and out as quickly as possible. Big number one Duval Ford online at duvalford.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. It's Renewal by Anderson's triple savings month. Get $300 off windows and $825 off patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Leonard Skinner is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinner Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces. Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale now, only at Ticketmaster. Daly'sPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinner rocks for those who serve.
This is Hayes Carlion for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. I also go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Oh, interest rates. They're high everywhere, aren't they? Not at Beard's Diamonds right now. They've lowered finance rates all the way down to 0. Hey, Hicken here. That's right. Now Beard's Diamonds pay 0 down and get 0 interest financing for 5 whole years. So that $12,000 designer engagement ring is yours now for just $200 a month. Man, this amazing offer makes everything affordable. How about a $6,000 diamond eternity band, $100 a month? How about a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings? $50 a month. It's insane. Make any purchase and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 down and 0 interest financing. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, pendants, colored gemstone jewelry. Let the non-commission experts at Beards help you find the perfect piece of jewelry and take advantage of our best financing offer ever. I'm talking Beards Diamonds. I'm talking in the St. John's Town Center. This amazing offer ends August 31st. Shop local. Shop Beards.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service. On 1010XL.
All right, Jaguars Today rolls on. Our Chet and Sandy real estate question today, just asking you what are the top 3 storylines you'll be paying attention to, watching for this weekend when the Jags take on the New Orleans Saints. You can hit us up. The easiest way to do that is on Twitter at MD_1010XL. A lot of good ones coming in. We'll get to some of those moving forward here as let's go to the phone lines for the first time this morning, guys, on this Friday. The Checkmate Coatings phone lines, Matt and Callahan is first up today. Matt, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead.
Hey, morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Good. What's up?
Going into the weekend, I just want to see a clean game. I don't want to see laundry on the first snap. That's for sure. But I'd love to see a clean game. I'm looking for 5 plays, if our starters play, that make you get up out of that chair. You know, when you're sitting at home watching the game and you get up, like excited, like you're actually doing something yourself. I want to see that out of this football team going into it. That's what I'm looking for out of this game. I kind of missed the story question of the day, but that's just what I'm looking forward to. Hoping happens this weekend. And then, Tommy, I got a question for you because you were a player. With the history that we've had, as far as things not going right, is there something that needs to shift as a team or with the coaching staff within the locker room or on the field? Because is there a potential that they could be like, oh, crap, here we go again? Is that on the coaches or the players to make sure that's not a thought?
Yeah, it's on both. And no, I don't think they're anywhere near that at all. Look, it was a bad first outing. They know it. We know it. They're going to work on it. And look, hopefully they get all their guys back. It was good to see Armstead working, like really working on the side. He was working with a strength coach, working on some hand pads. Of course, we get Mason Smith back. We definitely need our interior done. But no, I don't think there's anything wrong yet. And look, I think if there is, Liam, what he did this week is basically what he's combating, right? He's saying, okay, guys, this is just unacceptable. Like to do a walkthrough 3 weeks in of alignments and assignments because you don't know what's going on 100%, that's not good. So he went back to the drawing board. He used the phrase,
we talked to me and Logs talked to this week, he used the phrase Pop Warner. We took it back to almost Pop Warner.
See, yeah, well, good. I'm glad he did. He didn't just let it go, oh, we'll work on it next week. We'll see what happens. He said, no, okay, we'll go back to the drawing board, and now we'll see if it does, help. Look, yesterday it didn't seem like it did. Next step or next test is New Orleans. Let's see if it, if it worked and they come out of the game cleaner. But I agree with John there. The clean game or cleaner the game, the better. But I'm not worried about the locker room just yet. I don't think that's an issue. But at the same time, the leaders got to step up, and the coaches got to make sure they do. And the leaders in that locker room got to say, hey, man, let's get this stuff together so we can win some ball games.
Ironically, here's a reference to Pop Warner on the text line. Is it common in the NFL to swap players around and try to figure out who can play where? Reminds me of Pop Warner. I mean, look, there is some of that happens, but I just feel like after OTAs and mini camps and weeks of training camp, that you'd be further along in the process. Like I follow Pete Sweeney, covers the Chiefs, right? Does a great job. His camp write-ups are fantastic. And almost every day it's like Juwan Taylor is rotating with this other guy at right tackle, okay? But that's one spot where they're clearly having a position battle with two guys. It feels like the Jags are like, hey, let's reach in the bag and come up with a new combination of 5, with few exceptions. Ezra and Hainsey are holding down their spots, pretty consistently. But it just feels like there are many more possible combinations with just over 3 weeks to go than you would typically see.
We talked about it late on the show yesterday, right? I brought up the idea, and I talked to you about it before the show as we were walking in, Tommy. Like, how improved are we on the offensive line? We're not going to know till we get it on the field. Right, against Carolina here in a few weeks. We won't really know what the answer to that kind of thing is. I'm surprised that we're this deep into training camp and we're still having this many questions in this many spots about who's going to be playing where for who is the starting 5? It's open in 3 of the 5 spots, basically, it feels like now, because Anton could move to either tackle spot. But he's going to start. It's a matter of where is he going to start, and that kind of determines other things. And I do think there was so much highlighting McCary as the free agent acquisition on the offensive line, and he comes in, and Adoga's pushing him for that job. Now, part of it is he's hurt for the first couple weeks of camp. Can't blame him for that kind of thing, but now he's back, and it's still an open competition as to who is the best right guard, and I think that could be speaking to where are they on the offensive line, that a player that we all felt as good about as we did about McCary when they brought him in, and going into training camp before the injury happened. And now we're 3 weeks into camp, and it's I'm not sure. Like, it may be Adoga's just a guy that is in a new spot, and he's taking a big step forward in his career, right? I hope that's the case with what's happening here. Or it could be they get Adoga here, and McCary's on the field now, and it's like, well, Adoga and McCary are basically the same guy, And that speaks to where are we?
Well, they're still battling that out because McCary started at right guard yesterday with the Doggett with number 2, but they're still mixing and match. And, look, are you that surprised that Walker Little hasn't solidified left tackle? I mean, he's never taken the job. He's been given the job, but he's never taken the job. Again, he's okay. He's not terrible, but I'll tell you this, way too many times, including yesterday, does he get beat by one of our defensive ends in pass pro. And I'm not talking one-on-ones. I'm talking 11-on-11s. There are times that he does well. He keeps them off him. He keeps them clean. It's fine. But there are too many times where he gets beat. I mean, he's hardly ever stopped Trayvon Walker on his inside move. Josh went right around him yesterday. Now, again, I don't know if scrimmage was full speed scrimmage. I think some guys were 80. You know what I mean? It just didn't feel like a full-on. At the end, they got chippy, so it did get a little more physical towards the end. With the backs and Jarian Jones and Tootin going at it. They got a little chippy, but overall, it didn't feel like a full on scrimmage. But at the end of the day, if they, like you said earlier, they wouldn't be rotating if these guys had solidified their spots on that O-line. They'd just be it.
That's what it feels like to me, right? And occasionally you'd get another guy who's playing well, a rep or two at a specific spot, but this flipping around this tackle to the other side, put in another guy, put in another guard, it seems like a lot at the moment. All right, we'll continue to look at some storylines to watch for, including the wide receiver core coming up as the Jags take on the New Orleans Saints on Sunday at 1 o'clock. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Jaguars football lives here. Next up, the New Orleans Saints. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband and wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton has big plans for 2026, renewing the greens plus plenty more. But right now is the time to take advantage of member opportunities before the big renovation. Now until the end of September, you can join and save 50% off their initiation fee, plus $500 back in a gift card with a 12-month commitment. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. playability for every skill level, and a huge practice area to hone your game. Lock in now and enjoy membership privileges at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Hey, Hicken here, and every Friday I'll help you put together your sports weekend so you know where you want to go and what you want to do. Watch for Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook, locked down by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service on 1010XL.
We are such creatures of habit here, right? We're sitting here. I'm shocked that Tom's got a headset on right now. It clicked with me, Tony, because as we were coming out of the break, like simultaneously, I don't think you could have seen it on the stream yet. Dylan hadn't switched it out of commercial mode yet. But it's right in front of me. So I see you, but I see you there. And we all picked up our headset. Like, it was like synchronized, put on at the exact same time. And that made me realize that you're actually wearing one.
I am, yeah.
I know it's not your personal
it's a
property.
community one. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's a good one.
I know it is.
Yeah.
We're happy for you.
Thank you. Me and Leon, I think, tend to share this one back and forth. Yeah,
that's fine.
Two big heads.
It's nice to be able to hear each other and hear the callers and all the contributions from Dylan Denmark from the control room.
Yes,
as well.
Great tune, buddy.
Don't want to miss those.
It's a good one.
Yes. All right. Let's get to a little bit on the wide receiver group, right? And some of the frustrations with drop balls. We'll start with the evident frustration. You've seen Brian Thomas out there, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not always the same thing. It's not always, hey, I dropped it. Sometimes the pass gets broken up. Yeah. I've seen one or two where Trevor's thrown a little behind him, or whatever reason, if it's not clicking. Brian Thomas, I don't know if he just felt like, and I'm not saying he didn't put in the work. I'm sure he's putting in the work, right? I don't think you had the rookie season he had without being a worker. But he probably felt like, well, I'm going to come in, I'm going to put in the work, but I'm going to pick up right where I left off, right? And which is dominating. Yep. Here is Grant Yudinsky yesterday on some of the frustration that Brian Thomas Jr. has shown.
I don't know that I would list it like that. I think that he holds himself to a high standard, which we appreciate. And when he doesn't play to the standard that he holds himself to, sometimes that comes out in frustration. But this is what practice is about. You're trying to improve on things. You're trying to put yourself in challenging situations. If you're going out there and just succeeding at everything every single day, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. So we expect there to be some element of frustration with every position, whether it's a receiver, whether it's an offensive line, whether it's mentally or physically. Most guys are going to be in a situation at some point throughout the course of a practice, throughout the course of a training camp, where they probably push themselves maybe beyond their limits, or maybe they just don't perform to their standard. So I think that frustration for all of us, coaches, players included, it becomes a part of the process of growth, whatever we're doing.
I want to be very clear on this. Yeah. In my opinion, Brian Thomas Jr. is the best player on the Jaguars roster.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my personal opinion.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
There are a couple other guys that would be in the conversation. That's fine. But that's my opinion.
He's the alpha.
I'm not worried about Brian Thomas Jr.'s love of the game, attention to detail. He's having a few struggles in camp.
Yep.
I believe that he's going to be the guy we think that he is shown to be in his 1 year in the National Football League. But let me tell you, Tone, he better be that guy, right? Like, I mean, can this offense?
How high did you draft him in your draft?
No, it's not that. It's not, honestly, it's like, can this offense function to their capabilities if Brian Thomas has that take a step back year and,
simple answer, no.
No, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's got to be maybe that 1,200, 1,300 yard guy again, almost at minimum. And last year, some of it was they didn't have other great options. They were crushing him with targets. Yep. But, okay, they knew, when I say they, opposing defenses knew that was coming after a certain point. Yep. And they still couldn't really deal with it. So where's your confidence level that we will get the same Brian Thomas?
I'm not worried about Brian Thomas at all. And, look, the first pass, I think, yesterday hit him right in the face, or his hands. His hands were near his face. It bounced right off. He didn't make the grab. It was a great throw. Kind of an out pattern, but I also seen him make great throws. But I'm not worried about Brian Thomas because he's proven it. He's shown that he's going to be that player, so he's going to be a gamer for us. I'm not that concerned. Look, I will say in this game, because I wanted it last game with the first team, I want to see some balls down the field. I want to see Brian Thomas down the field. I want to see Travis. I want to even see Diami if you can get him down the field. But I want to see more than just, a little bit here, a little bit there.
I didn't mind that for the first game. Like, to build a little confidence, operate, get the ball out of Trevor's hands quickly, have a little success moving it.
I agree. The only play I'd really go for was that 3rd and 12 before the first field goal. Like, just take a shot. Like, you're going to kick the field goal anyway. Why run an 8-yard route or hit an 8-yard gain? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we talked about that early in the week. I think that's one thing that will change. That Cam Little, you see, it's one thing to see it in practice. It's another thing in game conditions to deliver with that kind of kick. And now, Tom, I think you're, at the 35-yard line, and it is 3rd and 12. You're trying to hit the big play. You're not trying to get 5 underneath to make it easier. He doesn't need it to be any easier in that kind of range.
It's a luxury to have.
Now, Brian Thomas not the only guy who's dropped balls in camp. There were a bunch of drops yesterday, and Trevor Lawrence was asked about that phenomenon.
I'd have to watch it. Some of those, I was in for some of them, but then on the sideline looking at the iPad with some of the guys there in between series when the other groups were in. So I'd have to see them. It's just, some of it's focus. Obviously, guys just looking at the ball and focusing, not trying to get upfield too fast. Some good contested catches by our defense, too, breaking up some passes. But we got to treat all of them like they're ours. And then sometimes the throws aren't always perfect. They got to be in the right spot at the right time and give guys a chance to catch, tuck, and get upfield. And if you're late against a good defense like ours and give them time to close and make a play on the ball, it makes it tougher. So there's a lot of factors that could be involved in that. It's not all on just guys catching the ball, but that is part of it. Is just, focusing. Looking it in, not trying to get upfield too quickly, and making sure we secure it. But yeah, we got to do our job as quarterbacks too and give them the ball accurate and on time.
Trevor is very professional. He's not going to throw his guys under the bus. Yeah. He's going to take blame. I'm part of this too. It's not just me and the receivers, by the way. Right. It's got to be protection. Yeah. He is right to a degree. But I heard, might have been Circe and XL Primetime talking about it yesterday. It seemed like he got a little bit frustrated at points yesterday with the drops, right?
Drops and miscommunication. It seemed on a couple of them, yeah.
People have been clamoring, Tony, for Trevor to chew somebody's ass, right? Like, show enough is enough at some point. But has he established enough? I mean, clearly he's the leader of the offense, but is he a guy that consistently plays on a high enough level that he can do that and not have somebody go, well, wait a minute. What about that one you just threw somebody a hospital ball on or whatever? You know, I'm not saying he's doing that. But you know what I mean?
In today's day and age, I think that does happen more than not. You know what I mean? Even though you're the leader. What about you, man? You missed me on that throw, buddy. Let
me ask you, do you think if you were in that locker room and Trevor stood up and did that, not all the time because it loses its effect, if he had that or at a practice or whatever, how do you think you would react to that?
Yeah, no, the quarterback is supposed to be the guy that gets everything. I would have no problem with the quarterback yelling at me if I was at fault. Now, if I wasn't at fault,
obviously,
I would argue that with him. But no, he's the quarterback. He's our leader, and until he really fails, you're still gonna follow him,
right? And I do think he does point out his own It's not like he's like, man, these guys.
He's been off times too. So I'm glad he said that because he's right. He's been off. The drops of our lack of focus. You're trying to do something with that ball before you secure it, and then it's just that timing issue. Look, last week, real quick, when Mullins missed Parker Washington, he underthrew him. That was a timing thing. He can still get the ball there. He just threw it too late. You got to throw it, get it out there, let him run underneath it. So a lot of those missed throws from whatever quarterback can be based on timing.
All right, what are the top storylines you will be watching for when the Jags take on the Saints? We'll continue the conversation coming up in hour 2. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Start sequence 1.
This is Mayflower 1 calling Mission Control. Do you read me? Over.
This is Mission Control. Identify yourself and give me a position.
Jacksonville Sports Radio. 1010XL.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway Sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Duck Duck Rooter. We've seen it all. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
The dog days of summer are here, and Superior Fence and Rail is throwing you a bone. Right now, get 5% off any fence project 100 linear feet or more through August 22nd. Whether you're looking for added privacy or to keep your pets and family safe, now is the perfect time to invest. Contact Superior Fence and Rail today for your free estimate. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to American-Electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Cross are here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by TopDressing.com. Jag QB Trevor Lawrence expects to see playing time against the Saints.
Yeah, I expect to play. I mean, that's the kind of the mindset in the preseason.
The AP released its all-time All-American team for the organization's 100th anniversary. Tim Tebow and Deion Sanders made the list. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 11:01, it's 88 degrees. Time at 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's number 55.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service. On 1010XL.
All right, Tommy Mack here with us, as he is every Friday. Were you watching the game this week?
Home.
The house?
Yeah.
Who's?
Couching it.
Okay.
Yep. After some bacon.
After some bacon.
Yeah, bacon,
right.
Sunday bacon.
What do you got
baby.
going on Sunday? Bacon and the Jaguars.
Are you going to do the Dylan thing, the whole pack for yourself?
I eat quite a bit, but no, I won't eat the whole pack for myself.
You know what? If I had the kind of money, like, Dylan's 27, but like if I was in college, there are plenty of nights when I would have come home if I had the money to cook up a pack of bacon. I would have been cooking up that whole pack of bacon, baby.
A little toast, a
no
little
doubt
butter,
about it.
Bacon.
We made some killer beanie weenies, like high-level beanie weenies.
High level?
We make a crock pot.
Okay.
We'd have salsa in there. We'd have all kinds of like different stuff. That it was good stuff, man. That was like our treat.
Okay.
In the dorm room, you weren't allowed to have them, but
breaking the rules.
I had a lot of things in the dorm room that I wasn't allowed to have. As the people who are in the audience right now who went to Flagler College in the late 80s, early 90s can attest. All right. I saw this from Jagtastic on Twitter. Okay. One of the first things, one of the storylines he's watching for, can the D-line get push and pressure versus a weak New Orleans offensive line? Okay. So I decided, Mike Clay did these rankings. Let's see how the Jags stack up with the Saints this week.
Okay. Cool.
In different positional rankings. And again, this is one man's opinion, but Mike is a bit of a number cruncher.
Okay.
So he's going to be looking at, whatever
data.
metrics he's looking at. Right.
But
quarterback for the Jags, 22nd in the league. Is that fair? Fair ranking? We're not going to get into specifics of how many teams should be ahead.
He should be a little higher, in my opinion.
It's a little low, but it's not
maybe
crazy.
a little.
Yeah.
Not crazy. Like when we did
17, 18 feels right to me.
What do we call that middle tier, Tony, when we were talking about like 13 to 20, I think we called it, and I think we felt like he was somewhere in that group of guys. But 22nd, New Orleans 32nd.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Shuck.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
Shuck and duck.
That's right.
Apparently that's a lot of what happened last week. All right, running back. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a quintet of talented runners, Tommy.
Wow.
They're ranked 24th in the league because they don't have that guy, right?
That
one
talented, but
guy.
Yeah.
Where's New Orleans come in with Alvin Kamara? Where is New Orleans on this list? Why am I not? There they are, 9th.
Oh.
So that's all on the strength of Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
Kendrick Miller's not stayed healthy throughout his career, what have you. Kamara's a really good player.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know how much he'll play, if at all, this week.
Yeah.
I don't know what their plan is on that yet.
Hope he does.
Jags come in at 14 at wide receiver, which I think is a little low. Like, I wouldn't put Baltimore ahead of them. I wouldn't put the LA Chargers ahead of them.
Yeah.
I understand why KC is there because Xavier Worthy had the big postseason. You got Rashee Rice. I get it. Washington? Terry McLaurin's good.
Right.
Most people think Debo's a shell of what he used to be.
Right.
And then they have Noah Brown, who's been hurt. I mean, I don't know, Luke McCaffrey. Anyway, they come in at 14. New Orleans comes in at 20. Let's do the offense here right now. Tight end, the Jags, according to Mike Clay of ESPN, 25th.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got, 14th receiver. That's our high point. 22nd quarterback, 24th running back, 25th tight end.
Wow, we're a juggernaut on offense. Let's
Not good, Tom. New Orleans, though, 31st at tight end, Juwan Johnson.
Okay.
And Taysom Hill's hurt, coming off the torn ACL.
Right.
And then you get to offensive line, because that was the point of this. Can the D-line get push and pressure versus a weak New Orleans offensive line? New Orleans offensive line not graded super highly here. 22nd in the league. Jags are 32nd in the league. Now, granted, they're going to be playing against the Jags front. Yep. Are you more concerned about the offensive line or the interior of the Jags defensive line, specifically the interior?
Good one. No, I'm more concerned about the O-line.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, because I think Mason is coming back. He didn't practice yesterday, but after they announced him, and then Eric looked good working out. I mean, they were working him pretty good, and he was doing some resistance against the bag with the trainer up and down the field. So hopefully he comes back. And
were you out there on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. Like, I marked on it several times this week. I thought Mason Smith I was not at all surprised he got activated this week.
Yeah.
By the way, activated, he did individual stuff. He didn't do team.
Right.
But that's a big step up from working out on the side on your own. But he was full speed backpedal ladder drills. I was like, and moving.
Yeah. They just got to make sure he's in condition before they put him out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's got to be in shape to play. And I think he should be, but, you just don't know until you get out there.
Let's get our friend Fan Cam up here on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Cam, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. I would not trade our running back room for 23 others in the league, not even close. I can't buy that a bit.
Okay.
But I just want to touch base, and I think the offensive line, the strategy they've taken is very interesting. What looks like confusion now might certainly translate into depth as we work our way through the campaign. And I kind of like the fact that we're still uncertain exactly who's going to be starting at a couple positions, and that tells me that they got quality bodies more than on the front line of that line. So hopefully we got some depth on the offensive line, and they come together as a unit. Yep. And Tommy, I just want to let you know I'm working my butt off doing practice drafts to see if we can get those longboards back into the upper tier of the Super Bowl run.
You're a great GM, my friend.
You're going to really need to come up with some very pointed 25 words this year, bro. You're slipping. Is all I will say, Fan Cam.
Get caught slipping.
Oh, my Lord. We're getting shots early, Tommy. We'll be ready.
We'll be ready.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
Guys, have a great weekend and go Jags.
Thank you, sir.
I was just going to say, and it's valid what he's saying, but let me throw this at you. Why is there no, rotation at left guard if they're worried about couldn't Ezra get hurt? Ezra could get hurt, so why are we working that out?
Total optimist outlook. What this means is they have great quality depth. And yes, but that what it also means is that the starters are not separating from those guys.
We got 9 or 10 guys that are all the same.
Right. And, I'd like to have 5 guys that are badass and another 2 guys that I feel like I can count on in a pinch. And they can step up their game if called upon.
Yep.
But whatever. Look, man, we don't know. I'm not saying
Still got time.
Right.
Still got time.
I'm not saying the season's over. It's a disaster or anything like that. But these are the concerns right now.
Right.
And they've got 3+ weeks to get it rectified. And if you beat Carolina, again, you're going to get a lot of grace early on.
For sure. You win games, nobody cares what any of this looks like.
That's right.
You just got to start winning games. We'll see what that looks like. You asked Tommy a moment ago, is the offensive line or the interior, the defensive line, the bigger concern right now? That's offensive line so easily for me.
Yep.
As concerned as I've been about the interior of the defensive line throughout this entire process, I've seen Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker succeed with the interior of the defensive line being terrible. Like giving them nothing, not stopping the run, not doing anything. It hasn't stopped their 2 best players up front from having some level of success. With everything built around, we're bringing in Cohen. We're changing the way we do offense. We want to unlock it for Trevor Lawrence. We're bringing in Hunter. Like all these different things that they've done in this offseason. If the offensive line keeps them in the starting blocks the entire season offensively, then none of that other stuff matters. They have to get something comfortable on the offensive side of the ball for them them to have any kind of chance this year.
No, you're absolutely right. And I want to look, I know for New Orleans, I want to see more commitment to that run game. We said we're going to run. Let's run.
Let's do it.
I want to see it. What are you smiling at?
I'm smiling because I mentioned.
Looking at me.
No, I was waiting for you to make your point. I mentioned a minute ago, I was looking at a PFF ranking this offseason of the top guards in the league. To see where, because Tony was talking about we're excited about McCary, and I was thinking, I think we got excited because we had a new GM who we think is not as stupid as the old GM, and therefore if he spends big money, it's going to be a proper decision, right?
No,
but McCary came in at 28 on their list. You know who came in at 19? Brandon Sheriff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So downgrade according to PFF.
Wow.
Even if you can rank McCary 28, that's great.
Yeah.
They paid a premium for his flexibility. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. You know, now looking at it, they paid a premium for, we don't need him to be the right guard or the right tackle, or we don't need him in one spot on the offensive line. He can play anywhere for us. So they were willing to pay a premium on that kind of. I think they were willing to pay a premium at center because he's been in the offense before. It's not because he's a great player. We're willing to pay a little bit more because he's comfortable with what we're going to be doing in the transition into this offense.
I personally thought he was going to bring this attitude like the Ravens have up front. You know what I mean? That he is going to be that guard, and that's why they went after him, that type of thing. But wherever he plays, he's got to be one of the top five. He's got to be one of the top
right.
five.
Look, the guy was hurt. He's back, and he's also working his way up to a certain level.
Absolutely.
And again, I don't mean to say that these lists are gospel, right? I mean,
no, I know.
But it's just ironic that you're like, hey, all right, we got a guy in the top 32 and top half of the but we had a guy that they thought was the top 20. Yeah, the quiet retirement.
Yeah.
It's like I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out, and I'm not going to make a big deal of it.
We didn't like how it ended, but 10 years, 5 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro.
Really good play.
That's a heck of and a 5th pick overall. That's a heck of a career, man. Congrats.
All right, when we come back, Tony Smith takes us around the rest of the NFL. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 1010XL's Hayes Carline represents you in the locker room.
So you got to up your game.
Interview persons of interest so you'll have the information you need to get ready for game day.
Time to put on your game face.
Open by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Call 904-500-COOL. Ideal Conditions.
Do you trust the diagnostic you just got for your AC? Call Ideal Conditions now to get a free second opinion with a limited time offer of $50 off repairs of $300 or more. Just mention this station. For a limited time, we're doing $79 one-time AC tune-ups as well.
Call 904-500-COOL.
Honk if you see us. Call for service.
Ideal Conditions.
IdealConditionsJax.com.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatersparking.com and book your space today.
Put the ball in the net with 60 Minutes of Soccer Talk, the coaches show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. In summertime, it really can stretch out most of the year because we love the warm temperatures here in the Sunshine State. Greg, give them an idea of what Honda has to offer.
They are all over the board. They've got Honda scooters, Honda motorcycles, we've got Honda boats, we've got Honda side-by-sides. Whatever you like, we've got it.
That means adventure is waiting.
That's right, and we're ready for you.
In the showroom, you can find all that Honda has to offer on Atlantic near Regency, or check out Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
If a birthday or anniversary is looming in your immediate future, take care of it today by ordering a floral arrangement online at CuneFlowers.com. You'll be the star of their day. This is Frank Franchi. Take it from me. An arrangement from Cune Flowers works like magic.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, every day feels like the weekend. Fresh, never frozen chicken wings, tossed in over 30 bold flavors, paired with ice-cold beer and handcrafted cocktails, all in a laid-back, beachy atmosphere. And with every game on the big screens, it's the ultimate escape. And you're home for sports, too. Great food, cold drinks, and all the games. That's Hurricane Grill and Wings. Escape the ordinary and find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service on 1010XL.
All right, we are exclusively 99.9% NFL, but just tangentially related. You see what the NCAA put on Jim Harbaugh? 10-year show cause for the next decade. If you wanted to hire him, not that he's leaving the Chargers.
Right.
You have to show why you should be allowed to hire this guy after cheating with the sign stealing scandal.
Right.
Fined Michigan $20 million.
Really?
This is like, they blatantly cheated.
No, right, I know.
And they won a championship, and it's all fair, love and war in sports. And,
yeah,
you know,
the Astros.
Yeah, exactly. The Astros or the Patriots or
the Pats
or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, right? No. If you ain't cheating, you ain't cheating. That's what that is. But yes, there's a lot of that.
Wow.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I guess
attitude out there. So
holier than thou, Jim Harbaugh.
10-year show clause, $20 million. He's like, I don't care. I got the championship, and that's how people are. Like whatever. You know, do whatever, apparently. Do whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, Jaguars. Whatever's necessary. Get the Lombardi. They can try to strip it from you posthumously or whatever. Doesn't matter.
That's right.
Just get it. All right. Apparently, you will be forever lauded, and you'll have one day of bad headlines, bad press.
Yeah, and then it goes away.
Everyone will forget about it. All right. Let's go back to the lines here on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Corey checking in all the way from New York on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Corey.
Hey. Hey, guys. I'm a huge Jags fan. I grew up in Jacksonville, and I was just wondering, I've been thinking, you know, we talk about how our DNs are amazing, but our tackles suck. So who are they going against every single day? They're facing those tackles that aren't very good, so we think that they flash in camp. But then we say our guards are looking amazing, Ezra Cleveland and Nadoga, but then they're facing the D tackles who we're saying are sucky. So the question is, are they good or are they just looking good at the moment? I know that Hines, Allen, and Walker are above average at the very least. We know Hines Walker had an amazing season, but are they great? That's the real question. And are we going to see it during the preseason? Because we didn't see it in the first game. They had no pass rush in the first game, even on that first drive. So I don't know. I just figured I'd call in. And
that's fair.
It's very valid.
I appreciate it. Look, I don't think we think that Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker are really good or great, whatever label you want to put, because they're dominating Walker a little. It's because what they've actually done in the league. 2 years ago, they had the most combined sacks of any pair in the league. Yep. And Josh Hines Allen was great that year. He was legitimately great. Took a step back last year, but was it because Ryan Nielsen had him beef up and play above his playing weight that he excelled at? So I think that's fair. Definitely the interior of this offensive line, you can take it with a grain of salt because they're not going against Eric Armstead and Mason Smith.
Right.
But, if Devon Hamilton's going to be your guy, Josh Hines Allen, by the way, says he's the best DT in the league,
baby.
Which, is hyperbole to the extreme, but he has handled his business against Devon. He gets one-on-ones, and you're right. We call it Jaguar good, right? That we've all been sucked in over the years. Guys dominate. Tone, go back how many years ago? Was it 8 years, whatever? And nobody could block Dante Fowler Jr.
Yeah.
Right.
And then in come the Bucs for a joint practice, and nobody could find Dante Fowler Jr.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he was going to, was it DeMar Dotson at right tackle?
Yeah.
And he couldn't
swallowed him up.
He swallowed him. He couldn't get around
from
him.
the beginning to the end of that practice. He swallowed him up, and it kind of disappeared. I was a little bit disappointed last Saturday against the Steelers. I could see, it feels like second verse, same as the first kind of thing for Hines Allen to me, where it did feel like he was winning at least his guy, his matchup at times on Saturday night, but nobody else won. And that included Trayvon Walker for the few snaps they were out there on the field together. Trayvon, I wouldn't have even noticed he was out there if I didn't know he was. Last Saturday night, not that you noticed a bunch of the guys up front. And last Saturday's, I was disappointed given the way that Trayvon's been talked about through this offseason that it didn't show up a little bit more on the field. That is one of the things I'm looking forward to this Sunday is see that flash a little bit for the team because I do think those two guys, there's a reason we talk about them the way that we do. And I don't think it's because of their competition level in practice. It's because I think they're both really good players in the league. So I need that to show up at some point, hopefully this week. We'll see how much they want to play him. I'm telling you, Tom, I would, if I was Cohen, I might be telling them, y'all are playing a half.
Yeah, I'm with you. They need to work.
That's what I thought that was going to happen coming out of the first game. This will be the dress rehearsal.
Right, and after the scrimmage with how sloppy everything was, it's we're playing a half.
Right. And for the record, nobody sucks, okay? Walker Little doesn't suck. He's just not great. He's average. We need better than average. Devon Hamilton doesn't suck. He'll make plays from time to time, but on average, he's average most of the time. He gets pushed around too much. Now, him going against our offensive line may only mean so much, and that is valid. Look, I walked away from Pittsburgh after the first time I watched it, man, we didn't do anything. Second time I watched it, look, there were a couple plays he had it all day long to throw. A lot of times he was getting the ball out quick, so there wasn't any chance to really get anything going. However, our interior still had no push. I mean, they had zero push. Now, Pittsburgh's O-line, I think at least 4 of those guys were starters. They came out with their starting offensive line. So maybe that says something, our guys, why they weren't as productive. But I'm not that concerned about that yet. Of course, I want to see more against New Orleans and moving forward. But our interior D-line, if they don't get a push, I don't care who our outside guys are. They'll still have good years and maybe have numbers, but I don't think our pass defense will be overall that great.
By the way, 4 out of 5 starters on what Mike Clay ranks as the 26th best offensive line in the league.
Wow.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, guys that I just find it ironic. And so we're not all just sitting here in Jacksonville, Florida, watching practice going, man, Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon are killing these guys. In this ranking, only 5 teams are considered better at the edge rush position than the Jaguars.
Okay, let's take Tyson Campbell for an example. We are all out there at camp watching him, right? I mean, he's had a great camp going against Brian Thomas right there, going against Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown right there. They were making their plays too, but he was making plenty of breakups. You felt very good. If he stays healthy, he's going to have a monster year. And then he shows up in the game, and you're like, damn, Tyson, what happened? Now one of the I didn't like the 3rd and 2. They had him off 8 yards. Like, what are you doing? That's a terrible call. Get him up and contest in that route. All they did was a quick, pitch and catch. But, the man against Robert Woods, he got caught up in the wash. The run on 3rd and short, he's the free hitter. He's got a one-on-one shot at the back, totally whiffs on him, gets beat on a dig route, and those weren't the starters, the skill positions for the most part. So, again, going from practice to game, and people are like, well, wait a minute, you were saying Tyson had a great camp, and I'm telling you, he had a great camp against our guys, but Saturday night,
I do think it's hilarious. Social media, the media's got to tell you that. Well, all we can tell you is what we see happening in practice every single day, and part of that is you don't know. And we do feel like Brian Thomas has achieved a certain status. So when you're covering him, you're doing something, you know? And Travis Hunter, while he's a rookie, he was the Bolitnikoff Award-winning rookie as the best receiver in college football. And he's supposed to be this generational talent. And I think he is, you know, and all that. So anyway, as we go through all this, let's pause for just a couple minutes, take a step back. Tony's going to take us around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
As Tommy mentioned a few moments ago, Brandon Sheriff has announced his retirement from the NFL after a 10-year career. Sheriff was a first-round pick by Washington in 2015, made 5 Pro Bowls, was selected as a first-team All-Pro in 2020 in his 7 seasons there with Washington. Spent the last 3 seasons of his career here in Jacksonville. Indianapolis wide receiver Josh Downs left practice yesterday with a hamstring injury. Wide receiver Isaiah Bond has announced his intention to sign with the Cleveland Browns following his being cleared of sexual assault charges by a grand jury in Texas, which led to him going undrafted during this year's draft. The Browns are reportedly conducting further due diligence before pulling the trigger on signing Bond. Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins will not be facing a misdemeanor battery charge over an alleged domestic incident after prosecutors have declined the opportunity to pursue charges there. A lot of Cleveland news. Cleveland head coach Kevin Stefanski is still not announced the starting quarterback for the Browns when asked yesterday. He did say that Joe Flacco will not be playing this week and that Dylan Gabriel would play, but didn't confirm anything beyond that. Detroit tight end Sam Laporta missed practice and is expected to miss some more time with an undisclosed injury, according to head coach Dan Campbell. Denver linebacker Nick Bonito had to have a bone spur removed with the hope that he will be back on the practice field next week. Buffalo has placed linebacker Justin Hollins on IR. Miami has placed offensive lineman Jermaine Ifedi on IR with a triceps injury. San Francisco has placed offensive lineman Andre Dillard on injured reserve. And Buffalo and Washington have canceled a joint practice that they had scheduled for next week due to logistical concerns.
Yeah, for the most part, look, the Jags have had some guys missing, but their timetable is to return at least the starters by the season. We don't know about, you know, Ransom, Monteric, Cole Van Lannon, but, you know, they're guys are going to make the 53 if healthy, but not necessarily the guys that are going to be your frontline players. So knock on wood, I feel like the Jags have been okay in this area. Let's get Darren in quickly before the break on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Darren, you're on Jaguars Today. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Friday to you. Tommy, wanted you to speak to this. I heard yesterday for the first time on one of the other shows, I think it was James Gladstone, speaking of, about when the plays are being called, this is something totally different. This is Trevor's third whole setup in 4 years, new coaching staff and new offensive scheme plan to learn. Speak to what they're doing right now, because they said they were going to be calling multiple plays and they come up. So I think that is having a big effect on all of the pre-snap penalties, because it looks to be a much more in-depth offense scheme from Liam Cohen. I'll hang up a list, guys.
That's a good question. So you're saying they give them 2 plays to call and then they choose between the 2, right? Which, yeah, I mean, it can get confusing, I would imagine. But at the same time, you know, you just got to know it. So, look, the whole new coordinator, I mean, look, Baker Mayfield had like 9 and 8 years or something. I mean, it's just something you got to go through. I think Trevor's been fine overall. You know, the other guys in their, you know, whether it's alignment or assignments, whatever the case may be, they just got to, you know, they got to practice it more. They got to study it more. You know, you often talk about what they do on the field. That's just part of it, man. They got all day long to study that thing, study the playbook, study the film. And I know they go back out for walkthroughs, so I know they're going through it.
Right, that's the thing. Like, does he hold that practice early this week if he thinks this is this normal, like, adjustment period kind of stuff?
No, you know what? I think he got ticked off. It's like, all right, fine, we're going back to the basics. Yeah. I'm going to treat you guys like Pop Warner.
Like, so we should be beyond some of this stuff.
Yeah, of course, you know, and he had to do it. You know, look, nobody wanted to go through that. No player wanted to do that. No coach wanted to do it. What do you mean? We got to go through 40 plays? What are you telling me? Like, you guys don't know what the heck you're doing? And that's how he felt. And then I think even the Thursday, quote-unquote, scrimmage was more of that. Like, okay, guys, I know it's late in camp, but you clearly aren't getting what we're selling. You're clearly not doing what we're asking you to do 100% consistently. So we're going to scrimmage it. They scrimmaged a long time yesterday. They went at it for a long time.
All right, more on the Jags getting ready to take on the New Orleans Saints and where things stand as we continue the final half hour of Jaguars Today straight ahead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Door Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Come to Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale going on now for a very limited time. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it. Diamond jewelry, engagement semi-mounts, colored gemstones, even gold chains. Right now, everything on display at Monahan Jewelers is 40 to 50% off. Jewelry's going quick, so come to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference. For 100 years, service you can trust. Lee and Kate's Glass, depend on us. Glass solutions to meet your needs. Reliable quality guaranteed. Complete customer satisfaction. With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Yo, ET here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Jacksonville Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. By Renewal by Anderson, Superior products, exceptional service on 1010XL.
All right, your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day is similar to Keys to Victory, but we don't care about the final score. We care about how they play. What are the storylines you're going to be watching for when the Jags face off against New Orleans at 1 o'clock on Sunday? A lot of people talking about the running back room and how that's going to play out. We'll get to some thoughts from offensive coordinator Grant Yudinsky coming up on that. Let's go back to the Checkmate Coatings phone line. So Rick is in South Carolina and now up on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning, guys. Love the show. So, Tom, you said something a minute ago about, I think it was Devon Hamilton getting pushed back occasionally, and it just makes me think, I hear that about other players. Fortner, they said it was, I guess, a strength issue. Are these guys, are they just limited to how strong they can get? Is it a technique issue? Is it are they briefed? Do they have, like, opposing player bios and they know what kind of technique they need to play against other players? I mean, where are we failing in that regard?
Listen, most of the time when defensive linemen get pushed down the field, they just get too high, when they come out of their stance. They're not staying low to the ground. He's plenty strong enough. He's plenty big enough. And again, he does make his plays from time to time. But last year especially, there was too many times he wasn't doing the job of keeping those old linemen at bay and winning at the line of scrimmage. And we saw it. No, the interior of the D-line just wasn't what it needed to be. Mason Smith helped towards the end of the year last year. We hope that he helps a ton this year. But it's not a strength thing. If anything, I think it's a conditioning thing. Because when you get tired, the first thing you want to do is stand up. You don't stay low. You don't stay in your stance. You don't, stay with that leverage. So it has nothing to do with strength, willingness, anything like that. I think it's more of when I get tired, I stand up, and then they take you for a ride. And you could be the strongest guy in the world. You could be Vita Vea. Vita Vea, now he's a little bit extreme because he's so powerful, but you still got to, he's still got to maintain his leverage. To make sure that he doesn't get pushed back. Because if he gets pushed back, you're screwed, which rarely ever happens. But so no, I think if you got Mason and you've got Eric, and then if Jordan, Hamilton, and Lacey come off the bench to spell them from time to time, I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to have a good defensive line.
I think the line of scrimmage exposes, right? Like those kind of things. And I think it's on the offensive and defensive line. Like you earn a reputation based on 1 or 2 reps in a game, and that's the thing that it sticks. It's like I saw Devon Hamilton getting pushed 6 yards down the field. It's hard to shake that, coming out of a game. I saw the defensive tackle for the other team just blow the guard back, blow the center back, and it's like, well, that was a bad game for him. He got blown back. It's like, well, he might have been fine, on virtually all the other reps, but it's the one, it stands out. Like they are exposed in that way more than I think any other position really is. It doesn't make when you see it, you see it. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it just on one. I saw it too many times with Devon, and we did see it last year with Fortner. I mean, that was, went in there that we saw that, how that went down. But you look at Fortner, I talked to him not too long ago. He's a big guy. I don't think he's not strong. I don't think sometimes it's technique, sometimes it's just attitude. Be interesting to see there. But no, I think, look, with Hamilton, with Lacey, they just got to maintain that conditioning. And by the way, Mason Smith better be in condition because he goes straight up too. And he's a big guy at 6'6", but they'll get underneath him, and that'll be a problem. He's got to make sure he stays low.
Tom, what have you seen from Travis Etienne over the last week? He got the start, obviously played all the reps with the first-team offense, and it feels like he's been more the featured guy in team situations than Tank Bigsby has been, and that kind of bit of a – I felt like they were close anyway, but Bigsby always got that first rep.
Yeah, he was.
And I feel like now it's tilting in Etienne's favor.
Yeah, look, I thought Etienne, he's great in those running back screens for sure. Great in space. You heard it, but I saw it the next day I watched it. He missed a massive cutback. He would have had a huge gain. He just kept it front side. I don't know if he doesn't see it or whatnot, but he could have gone right off Anton. Anton's guy was crashing down. He had plenty of time to do it, but hopefully we see more of that. I'll tell you what's interesting, and I know it's a little bit out there, but What if Tootin shows you he can do everything that Tank and ETN can do combined? Just what if? And then you got LaQuint Allen, who they love as a third down back and should. He's good at blocking. He can catch the ball. What if those two guys, and hypothetically, but what if those two guys can do everything that Tank and ETN can do?
It makes a trade of ETN more likely.
Or something.
I don't think they're gonna make that kind of move until they get to that kind of point.
Right.
But I think, and we've been saying it in the process since they made the pick of Tootin in the draft. I think you make that pick with that guy with the skill set that he has, with the idea that he's going to be the featured back at some point.
Yep.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars. How long that will take to get to where he is the featured back, but he's going to get there at some point. I didn't see anything in that preseason game that made me think he can't do it.
I know.
Right? Like he can be featured in the pass game.
Yep.
The tackle that he made miss on that field goal route at the end of the half. Like that's the kind of thing that'll get you more opportunity. I think they want him to be the feature back. I think that has been fast forwarded based on what we've seen from him so far. I think the other two guys in very short order are going to be put behind him.
Here's Grant Udinsky on the camp that Basil Tootin's had so far.
I think the growth has been encouraging and a testament to his work, Coach Morton's work with him, and really all the running backs, their ability to improve, whether it's in the run game as runners, in the pass protection game, or as pass catchers. The entire room, all those guys have really embraced all facets of that position and what we're asking them to do. So between him, TJ, Tank, LaQuint, Shaquindon, all of those guys have been awesome to work with, a lot of fun to work with, and it's great to see their improvement kind of day over day.
I mean, we talked about it so many times, but if they don't trade up for Travis Hunter, I firmly believe Ashton Genty was the play.
Yeah.
Right? And
right.
That from their perspective.
Yeah.
And that means they were replacing the top of this depth chart. The word was after the draft, the reason they traded out of 70 is because R.J. Harvey came off the board at 60. And that would have been their pick at 70. If you're taking him there, you're turning it over. So here you are 1 round later.
Right.
And you're getting a guy that James Gladstone praised in the draft process lead up. And, the one he had the other day, the 50-yarder, where he just bounced it outside and he turns on the jets. He's got
fast.
And I think the big thing is ball security. Somebody made the point, we were doing our 53-man roster projection yesterday, and they said, Savage will be on this team. They're not going to take that dead cap hit. Well, they did with Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
They haven't been scared of that all off.
But the difference with ETN is it's cash as well as cap. Okay? They're paying him that money. They're not just getting a cap hit if they cut him. The team has to pay him on the 5th-year option, fully guaranteed. It's $5 million. Why would you cut him loose?
It's not a bad enough player to just cut him loose.
No, just to cut him loose. So, again, do they feel comfortable enough with the ball security? Tank Bigsby's had some drops in practice.
Better hold it every opportunity
That's not
he gets.
fumbling, but still that's something like
ball hits your hands, it better hit your chest.
ETN will catch that. At least that's their thought. So if Tank and Tootin show the ball security. And it was interesting. Again, I asked Liam Cohen about the running back position. He said all 3 of our guys did really well, which is kind of right because you're like, well,
3?
Because LaQuint Allen didn't play that much, that extensively. Didn't get many touches.
Yeah.
I presumed he meant ETN, Bigsby, and Tootin.
Yep.
So as he already kind of honed in on that aspect, or was it just the way he talked about it coming out of the one game? I don't know. All right, final segment coming up with some final thoughts, including what you're looking for. We'll run through the list on the other side. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, locally owned and operated by the Thompson family since way back in 1956. That 70-year anniversary coming up. I've talked about Dandy's fine products for over a decade now. Personally enjoyed them for a lot longer than that. Probably been a Dandy customer for about 30 years. Dandy's the perfect go-to when you're in a hurry and you don't want the hassle of a long wait. You're not going to go wrong here. Great value compared to the drive-thru. Fast, fresh, always tasty, and they're waiting for you all over town in the cold case at convenience stores in Duval. As a matter of fact, on the north side, the newly remodeled Circle K on Broward Road would be a great choice. They have a great selection of Dandy sandwiches, the classic double cheeseburger, my favorite tuna salad wedge. Look, you'll find plenty to satisfy even the most discriminating of appetites for a fresh, quality product. Dandy's the only name you need to know in Duval, and they also deliver. DandyFoods.com. When you're hungry, Duval, do what I do. Make yours a Dandy. and do it today.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, and this is a great time of the year to be in on all the action. Baseball season in full swing, and Hard Rock Bet is the best place to get in on every pitch, strikeout, and home run, all in the palm of your hand. And I know you love football. We can't wait for these huge games to kick off our college football season. Download the Hard Rock Bet app or log on hardrock.bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Jeff Lagerman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.group.com.
Leonard Skinner is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinner Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces. Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale now, only at Ticketmaster. Daly'sPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinner rocks, for those who serve.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacressporting.com.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, from the desk of Mike Duraco of ESPN fame and Jaguars Today, even greater fame, Jaguars defensive tackle Eric Armstead in a helmet and participating in team stretching today.
All right.
I don't know what beyond
Baby
that
steps,
he will do, but in the helmet and stretching with the team.
Beautiful.
Anton Harrison, Tyson Campbell, Chuma Edoga, all working off to the side, so probably no teamwork for them today. I saw Rick Ballou say Eli Panko also working off to the side.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm too invested in Chuma Edoga right now. I was just saying on the break, man. They sign him, you're like, all right, that's fine. You know, 2 years, $7 million. I had no idea if he's any good or not. And now you're like, oh, after hearing from some of the members of the organization just praise as how good he has been.
Yeah, he has.
You know,
I mean, we got to see more. We got to see more. But in practice,
I'm just saying, I want whatever. And all this versatility is great, and one guy in for another. I still, hopefully, in 3 weeks from now, 5 guys will have emerged that you feel are clearly your best unit.
Right. I will say, listen, if we were full strength on defense, Armstead and Mason, and our guys held their own, I'd feel a lot better about the O-line. You know what I mean? But they couldn't even block the other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had trouble blocking pretty much the entire defensive line. Not all the time, but way too many times. With our big horses coming, hopefully that just makes a real big difference for our D-line.
All right, here are some of the storylines our audience is going to be watching for this weekend. GT Jake said illegal motion penalties on offense, wide receiver drops, defense communication, right? He wants to see it all cleaned up.
Boom.
Understand it. From NJ, penalties, drops, defensive game plan execution. Sounds very similar.
Yep.
Let's see, from Professor Floyd, offensive line rotation. In other words, who's getting the opportunities where. Defensive line depth. Team overall doesn't have as many mental errors and missed assignments. Let's hope so. You're not going to see, I don't think you're going to see Mason Smith playing this week.
No,
is my
I wouldn't
guess,
think so.
Right? Just coming back to practice yesterday and working in individuals. So
I'd want him more conditioned. You know what I mean? I want to make sure he's at least can survive, successful, succession of plays. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm going to assume that most people want to see what the O-line has to offer because so I'm going to start skipping some of those. Are we getting Bush Drive Rich? Are we getting a penetration with the defensive line? Second team edge rushers. I will say this, and granted, the whole first team versus second team and all that, the Jags had 7 tackles for loss in the game, including 2 sacks. You compare that to Pittsburgh, I think they had no sacks, maybe 1 tackle for loss in the game. So, it's not like they ran it down their throat. We all remember Caleb Johnson getting loose on Travis Hunter, but there were some key third downs that they were able to convert. Every third down, I guess, is a key third down, but it wasn't like they just got completely pushed around on the line of scrimmage.
No, they were all right in that regard. I would like to see, again, not knowing how much, if at all, they're going to play in week 3 of the preseason. I would like to see them in this game one time when you have Hunter in on offense or defense, when they go back on the field on the other side, just flip them over, right? Don't give them the break in between for one set of series. Just be like, all right, he was on offense, play defense on the next series. If it's 3 or 4 plays and then you're like, get him out. You don't want to expose him too much. You can do that kind of thing, but I would, because that's the expected rhythm of what could be happening with Hunter once we get into the season. And this is the last opportunity, I think, to actually do it in a preseason game before we get to that.
I don't know. Maybe you guys can explain to me this one. I'm looking for some type of Romeo and Juliet scenario, then Trevor's ascent, then the O-line. So, the other two were legit. Am I missing something?
Some forbidden love?
I don't know.
Are there any Montagues or Capulets on the New Orleans roster that I'm unaware? I don't know.
That's Shakespeare, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah.
We're not looking for some tragic lovers who end it all at the end of preseason week number 2, are we?
Sounded a little cryptic to me.
I don't know. Maybe we're just missing something obvious, because then he said, and then Trevor's ascent, then the O-line. So it wasn't like snark, snark, snark. It was... Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it. So we'll be looking to see if anything Shakespearean transpires.
There you go.
I'd like to fall in love with the team this weekend.
You guys are good.
I don't want it to end the way Romeo and Juliet is.
Liam Cohen. All right, let's welcome in Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Matt Hayes, good morning.
What did I walk into? Forbidden Love? Shakespeare?
People are looking, but we asked what, the storylines people are trying to follow. Somebody said something about some Romeo and Juliet stuff. I don't know. We didn't know what it meant, so we're trying to figure it out.
Well, I know how it ends, and it's not good.
Well, this is correct. So what do you guys have coming up on the program today?
We're going to talk some Jags with Mark Long of the Associated Press. We're going to break down a lot of different angles of what happened yesterday and moving forward. We're going to get Brett McMurphy of On3 Sports. He's going to talk about the most overrated and underrated programs in the poll era over the last 10 years. So we've got a lot going on.
All right. Have a great show.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see how it all goes down for your Jacksonville Jaguars. No dad bods this weekend?
Not this weekend, no. We got a private gig in the later in the month of September.
Private gig.
It's a charity gig. Waste Not, What Not's 35th anniversary gala. So I'm going to go over there and do a little MCing and then have the dad bods. But, we got 2 in October, so we'll keep it playing, man. It was a lot of fun at Cole Haynes last Friday night. Great venue, great time. So this week we'll do a little bit more chilling this weekend.
All right. We will look forward to all that on the Tommy Mac docket coming up. And enjoy Vegas. We'll talk to you.
Yeah, man.
Bright and early.
That's right.
Vegas, 7 a.m., baby.
Sure.
All right.
I'll
Locked
be up.
in.
Yep.
Locked in. Can't wait for next
Me
Friday.
neither.
All right. Tony,
awesome.
I will see you Sunday. Denmark, have a good weekend.
Thank you as well.
That'll do it for us today. I hope you enjoy the coverage of the Jags all day long on Sunday. Keep it right here in your home for Jags football. As they're on the practice field right now, Liam Cohen won't speak for another 40 minutes or so. So you'll get the latest from the head coach coming up this afternoon on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
This is Joe C.